G'day Pickleball family. First thing to know, as shared on thedinkpickleball.com, tennis legends trade their rackets for paddles at Pickleball Slam 2. South Florida offered all the pickleball one could handle this past weekend with Pickleball Slam 2. Andre Agassi, his wife Steffi Graf, John McEnroe and Maria Sharapova put on a show Sunday evening in front of a packed house at Hard Rock Live at Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood, Florida. The event was broadcast live Sunday evening in front of an energetic crowd on ESPN and saw Team Agassi and Graf emerge victorious, taking home the biggest single event prize in pickleball history of $1 million. Agassi Graf defeated McEnroe Sharapova 11-7, 13-11. Also participating in Slam 2 as players/coaches were tennis professionals who have made the transition to pickleball, Jack Sock, a professional pickleball player, and James Blake, co-owner, Major League Pickleball's Milwaukee Mashers. Sock was part of Team Agassi Graf, while Blake joined Team McEnroe Sharapova. McEnroe was in top form, bringing his priceless antics and shot making to the event. A handful of foot faults early in the competition brought out the best from the tennis legend, who playfully sparred with the referee throughout the night about her rulings. The enthusiastic crowd thoroughly enjoyed watching tennis legends struggle at times with America's fastest growing sport. There were plenty of memorable rallies, shot-making, gaffes, and banter between the competitors, and the event proved to be a smashing success. With these names competing at the highest level of the sport and for ESPN to provide a Sunday night live primetime window for the competition, the future looks very bright for the growth and popularity of pickleball. And if you've made it this far into the update, please be sure to dink that like button and rate and subscribe on the platform you're watching or listening to it on, so this and future episodes can be found by and shared with other fellow pickleballers. Second thing to know, as also shared on thedinkpickleball.com by author Eric Tice, PPA Desert Ridge recap and takeaways. The PPA Desert Ridge Open took place at the JW Marriott Desert Ridge Resort, concluding on Sunday after an eventful weekend in Phoenix, Arizona. This was an open level event, meaning the winners of the pro events would earn 1,000 PPA points towards year-end standings. There were plenty of amazing storylines throughout the weekend, and here are my top takeaways. The JW Marriott Resort felt like a small venue for the PPA Tour. There were a total of 25 courts available at the venue this weekend for all of the pros and all of the amateurs. There were over 1,000 competitors for the event. Starting Thursday with pro singles, court space was very scarce. In order to warm up, pros were jumping on amateur courts, amateurs were jumping on pro courts, and everything in between. Court space was not only the issue in terms of venue size, there were many areas where fans were standing 3 or 4 deep into the sidewalk with nowhere to walk through. In addition, there were multiple courts that pros were playing on where the closest any spectator could get was over 2 courts away. While the venue itself is very nice, I think some serious changes will need to be made for the JW Marriott to continue hosting PPA events in 2025 and beyond. While the progressive draw is great for broadcasting, the more traditional tournament really helps players who are not full-time pickleballers. The progressive draw was seen 2 weeks ago in Palm Springs at the PPA Masters, and it was a hit in terms of video viewership. Knowing who is playing at what time on what stream is very helpful for viewers. The top level players also loved it for the most part, as they know they will only have 3 matches each day at the most. However, the big downside to the progressive draws is that the players who have full-time jobs can't always make those work. I spoke with a female pro who made it fairly far in the women's singles bracket in her first ever pro tournament in that event. I asked if she was going to play the next PPA event in Mesa, Arizona, and she said she couldn't because of her full-time job. Obviously, there are pros and cons to both, so I think the PPA mixing in some traditional tournaments with the progressive draws is the best way to move forward. In mixed doubles, it seems the blueprint to eventually beat Ben Johns and Annalie Waters is a great female on the left and a lefty guy on the right. Yes, Ben and Annalie won gold in mixed doubles again and easily. However, this was their hardest road to their gold in a long time. Ben has said it himself, he doesn't love facing lefties across the net for him. There were 3 mixed doubles matches this weekend that caused Ben and Annalie a lot of stress. First, they went to 3 games against Etta Wright and Pablo Tellez and ended up winning 14-12. This only happened after Pablo missed a serve at match point. Next, Christian Olshan and Catherine Parento got it to 3 games as well in the quarterfinals. They won 11-6 in the third game, but that match was a real grind. Lastly, although it only went 2 games, Ben and Anna Lee beat Hurricane Tyra Black and Augie Gee 11-7, 11-9. Gee and Black actually isolated Ben Johns, giving very few balls to Anna Lee, which seemed to work for them at times. The number 22 seed definitely made Ben and ALW uncomfortable throughout the match. I really hope to see Black and Gee teamed up at upcoming events. They could really make some serious runs together. The change to play bronze medal matches on grandstand court on Sunday morning was very well received. The bronze medal matches on grandstand court Sunday morning were very well attended and felt like special moments. In the past, the bronze medal matches were happening at the very end of the night after the semi-finals. They were not well attended. Many players withdrew from them and never really felt like something important. I like the change to this new format, and I talked to many fans who also loved it. With championship court tickets sold out well before the event started, many fans were able to watch some super high-level pickleball on Sunday morning when they normally wouldn't have. I hope the PPA continues to implement this new bronze medal format throughout the rest of the year. It was great seeing a newer partnership in Zane Navratil and Eric Lang get to celebrate with the fans after 2 unbelievable matches in the semis and the bronze match. They played a crazy, fun, speed-up game that paid immediate dividends. Lang did some sort of shimmy throughout the semis, concealing where he was going to be, which was very new. Zane had an insane behind-the-back spinning volley off his wrist that somehow went over the net in the bronze medal match. They lost that point, but it's one of the craziest sequences I have ever seen. Despite not playing her best consistently throughout the week, Anna Lee Waters is still the best woman in the world, and it's not even really close. Waters didn't have her best stuff consistently throughout the weekend, and she said it in a couple of post-match interviews. Despite this, she was able to pull out wins under immense pressure. They say champions find a way to win even when they aren't at their best, and she continues to do so. In the doubles, ALW and Catherine Parento were down 9-3 in the third game against the Kawamoto sisters before coming back and winning 11-9. In the women's singles quarterfinals, Lena Pagiamate brought ALW to 3 games, but ALW eventually pickled Lena in the third game. Lastly, in mixed doubles, Pablo and Etta had a match point sitting on Pablo's paddle at 12-11, only to watch Ben and Anna Lee rally 14-12. She just continues to find ways to win. The mental fortitude she has to have at each event is incredible. Although sometimes throughout the week, Anna Lee didn't have her best stuff, she definitely brought her A game with her on Championship Sunday. She just keeps winning triple crowns. The men's singles final was one of the best singles matches I have ever seen. For those of you who don't think athleticism doesn't play a big part in pickleball, or you think singles is boring, please watch the match between Jaume Martinez-Vic and Federico Staksrud. To quote Russell Crowe in the movie Gladiator, "Are you not entertained?" Martinez-Vic is one of the most charismatic, charming players on tour. He is always smiling, making jokes with the crowd and even with his opponents. In my book, he is the best showman in pickleball, ahead of Tyson McGuffin and Riley Newman. Federico has emerged as a great men's singles player. His athleticism and shot-making ability are both elite. He is also one of the best cat and mouse players in the game. Fed is going to be a top 3 men's singles player for a long time. There seems to be more parity on the PPA Tour in 2024. At the PPA Desert Ridge Open, the number of players/teams who won upsets in the round of 32 to make it into the round of 16 were as follows: men's doubles, 4 teams, men's singles, 4 players, men mixed doubles, 5 teams, women's doubles, 2 teams, and women's singles, 5 players. More parity in the sport and different teams playing in important games will only grow the sport. Sure, everyone loves watching Anna Lee Waters, but seeing new faces on championship court and grandstand court is also really fun, and new faces were there. Will Howes had his PPA coming out party this weekend. Sure, Howes made himself known. Sure, Howes made himself known 2 weeks ago at the APP Punta Gorda, winning men's doubles with CJ Klinger. However, we know the PPA talent is at a high level, so it was fun to see how he fared in Phoenix. Howes played men doubles with Johnny Goldberg, and I didn't get to see either of his matches. They beat Louis Payetta and Rob Hutchins 11-4, 11-1. They then faced the Johns brothers and lost 5-11, 4-11. Still a decent showing considering their competition. However, Howes made his name in men's singles. First, he had to make it through qualifiers as he didn't have enough PPA points to get into the main draw. In his 3 qualifier matches on Wednesday, he won a combined 66-14. He didn't lose a game, and the most points an opponent scored on him in a single game was Claudio Quinones Garcia, 4. In the main draw on Thursday, Howes still had success, Michael Lloyd withdrew, even though I had very high hopes for him. I heard a rumour he had a small medical tweak, but nothing that kept him out of mixed and gender doubles. Howes then beat the speedy number 13 seed Ryan Sherry in 3 games, 11-3, 9-11, 11-4. The round of 16 is where Howes met his match, losing to the eventual champion, Fed Staksrud, 0-11, 5-11. Howes has elite athleticism and amazing two-handed backhand, ground stroke and volley, and his hands are lightning quick. I'm expecting a big jump for Howes in 2024. This is not the last time I will be writing about his great play. Caitlin Christian is the real deal. I said it before and I will say it again. Christian is going to be a hot topic throughout 2024. The ex-tennis pro made a small name for herself at the Masters 3 weeks ago, but she dominated in Phoenix. Christian made the round of 32 with Christine Trifanovic. Apology, Christine. Losing to Lacey Schneemann, Vivian David, 2-11, 4-11. In mixed doubles with Webb Burrows, she beat Craig Johnson and Audrey Brown in 3 games, then lost to Matt Wright and Lucy Kovalova in 2. However, women's singles is where the former number 38 women's doubles tennis player made her name. Caitlin came in as the number 22 seed in singles. She made quick work of Amelia Schmidt, 12-10, 11-6. Then she was supposed to play Paris Todd, but she withdrew. Next up in the round of 16, Christian won 8-11, 14-12, and 11-8. In the quarterfinals, she faced the number 6 seed in Brooke Buckner and made the quickest work of all her matches and won 11-5, 11-4. In the semis, she faced Annalee Waters and lost 3-11, 6-11. Sunday morning, she made quick work of Leah Jansen, the number 2 seed, and won the bronze medal 11-5, 11-2. I watched all of her matches, and Christian has what it takes to be a big name in pickleball. She showed immense mental fortitude in her match with Salome Davidze, losing the first game, having match point against her at one point in the second, and just continuing to battle. Caitlin brings a very quiet, confident energy, and her quiet, positive affirmations to herself are refreshing in a world of pickleball where a lot of players speak negatively to themselves. Look for more of Christian on tour this year. Paddles up.